This week on the Brody and Mo In-Law Show.
Major League Baseball gives out a Cy Young, and that Cy Young goes to Madison Bumgarner.
This is so dumb. Ketel Marte is going to win the NL MVP.
Are you done ranting about nothing now? Because I can't listen to you.
I'm done being correct about things, I guess.
You are not right.
Welcome to the Brody and Mo In-Law Show, where we commiserate about Arizona sports, collaborate on being dads to daughters, and conversate on the pressing matters of today. Brody.
Did you forget my name?
I forgot your name just for a sec. It's been a while since we've done this.
It's the Brody and Mo In-Law Show. You are Mo, so by default, I am Brody.
You could have been Mo. I don't know. We look a lot alike.
We do. Fair enough.
You're a pretty well traveled young man. Yes, you've seen your fair share of places.
I've been around.
You ever been to Azerbaijan?
I've never been to Azerbaijan. Have you ever been to Azerbaijan?
No, but I believe this to be my daughter's first word.
Your daughter knows the word Azerbaijan?
It might be the only word she knows. She is constantly crawling around just going, Azerbaijan. Azerbaijan.
I wasn't great in school, but I was good enough to be decent at geography, and I don't even know if I know where that is. So,
I'm not even sure it's still a country, to be frank.
I was like, where's my Google? Where's Google?
Where is my Google?
Where's my Google?
Get on the Googles.
Is Azerbaijan still a place?
Please tell me how you're spelling Azerbaijan. I'm curious because I have a hunch how I'd spell it. There's a lot of consonants in it.
I was using like numbers and stuff. I don't think I'm doing this right. Actually, I don't even have my iPad up. So
what were you?
This is the wrong iPad. This is Chelsea's, and I don't know her password. So
a solid start.
We're off to a rough go of this. I didn't even have my
I was
iPad
always
with me.
I was hoping for Dada or Mama or one of the more classics as like a first word. I'll take Azerbaijan, I guess. I don't know what to do with. I don't know what to do with that though. Like, do I hand her a map when she says it?
Is she going to be a cartographer, map maker?
It's a lost art.
I mean, there's not many of them. Like, she would be one of the rare few in her field. I feel like I don't know many famous cartographers, but
I was going to say get on the Googles, but you don't have your iPad.
I don't have my iPad
cartographer.
Where is my iPad? Do I need to go get my iPad before we continue this? Should I go buy it?
We're off the cuff. We're off the cuff, baby.
Oh.
Brody and Mo In-Law Show's jazz. It's freeform jazz.
Chelsea just sent me her password to her iPad. Here's the trick, though. It's our anniversary, so we got to figure out if I know what our anniversary is.
Did you not know that was the password, or did you not know what your anniversary is? This is a key distinction.
This is a very key distinction. I did not know what the password was, regardless of if it was our anniversary. And it was our anniversary, and I guessed it on the first try, so we got it right. So just everybody calm down for just a second here. I'm going to get on the Google with my wife's iPad that I have the password to.
What was Sadie's first word? She's got about 600 words now, I think. More than most people
she's
my
a bunch
age.
Together. She had a lot of really good first words. As a parent, I feel like we hear things that we think are words that are not really words. So like
Azerbaijan.
Azerbaijan. So she learned hot really quick. Hot. I think it's just because we live in Phoenix and it's always hot, and that's just what you're going to be your first word.
She was just describing her existence.
She just was like, it's hot. Yeah, it is. Good call. You were born into hotness. So hot was a first one. She learned mama pretty quick. Dada was I think actually Dada was before Mama. So it was those three words, hot, Mama, and Dada, were all like pretty close within each other. And honestly, a lot of people are going to say this is crazy, but if you know anything about our podcast and about me, it won't be as crazy. But one of her first words was actually hockey.
I remember this.
She actually could figure out that it was hockey. Go, go, go. So that was like a thing she could figure out. She's done that a lot more lately. But
even though
that
she
was one of
didn't
her
know
first
the
one.
word for it, you would tell her to go get Howler, the stuffed coyotes mascot that you have, and she would be able to pick out Howler from a crowd.
She knew like who Howler was and what Howler was, and she still does like Howler cup, and she has a Howler shirt, and she like has her Howler stuff. So that was a big part of ours. So where does it's a miracle how kids pick up things. So where can you even conceive that Posey picked up Azerbaijan?
Well, I mean, I'm a very, like, I spend most of my time, my leisure time at home in the large leather-bound tomes of history and maps and geography and medicine and philosophy and that kind of thing. So I'm sure she's just sort of gleaning it by default, just maybe osmosis style.
Just by being there.
Sure, just by being around
She's
me,
there.
you pick up that kind of vocabulary.
By the way, according to our IT department, aka the iPad that I had to steal from my wife, Azerbaijan is still a country.
Yes.
In 22 hours and 55 minutes, you could be there by flight.
Okay.
It is in the continent of Eurasia, Eastern Europe, Western Asia. It is by the Russian Federation, Georgia, Armenia, the Islamic Republic of Iran, and it's split into two. Armenia cuts it in half. So there you go. There's Azerbaijan.
This is now a geography podcast.
Yeah, we did not see that coming.
For all of our listeners in Azerbaijan, please email us at bmils2020@gmail.com. Let me know how I'm inevitably pronouncing the name of your country wrong.
Call in.
Set us straight about what's cool about Azerbaijan. Let us know.
We want to know. Actually, that's good. All my friends in Azerbaijan, I know very little about your country, and I feel sad about that. So what's going on in Azerbaijan? And
what kind of sports you got in Azerbaijan? You got soccer? You got football? You got hockey?
Lacrosse? Do you have lacrosse there? You gotta have lacrosse there.
What do you got going on? Brody, what kind of sports we have going on back here in the old United States of America?
Well, I think in terms of sports and playing, obviously, we don't have a lot going on like that are actively playing, but we have a lot to talk about in terms of our sports segment. Like, we've got a bubble going on in the NBA. We've got hockey that's starting to really ramp up with training camps, formal training camps. Baseball is doing their spring training-esque, and they're fixing to fire up. So, like, I think we have a lot to talk about.
Oh, a ton.
We've got golf. Golf is in the middle of a tournament right now that they've not really missed a beat. So, and soccer, and even soccer is, doing their thing. So,
do you want to talk about Dan Snyder and the Washington Redskins, or do you want to leave that for the professional podcasters? Because you want to talk about a lot to talk about. What is going on in Washington, D.C.?
Dude. Well, those are two separate questions. What's happening in Washington, D.C. and what's happening to the Redskins, or the Washington Football Club? I don't know. Like, do I want to talk? Do I? I don't know. Mo, you know me better than most people do. I want to talk about this.
Here's what I want to talk about, because that is a terrible topic that makes me feel like a sad person, and I don't want to feel like a sad person anymore.
True.
I want to feel happy. So here's what I'm going to make you do, Brody. I want you to pick one of these sports that's on the cusp of coming back. I don't care which one it is: hockey, basketball, college football, NFL, baseball, whatever. Pick one of them. Make a bold prediction, like just an out there, off the wall, off the cuff prediction about something you think is going to happen in one of those sports.
I was hoping that we would wait till later in the podcast to discuss this because I still don't have what I think is solid, but I'm going to throw something out there that I can only relate to Arizona because I haven't followed sports on a national scale like a good person should be right now. I've been following very close to home. You know, Mo, that I'm a very devout Arizona sports fan. No matter what the Arizona sport is, those are my teams. It's the way I do it. So can I get outlandish here?
Yes.
I'm going to say that in 2020, the Major League Baseball gives out a Cy Young, and that Cy Young goes to Madison Bumgarner.
I like this.
That is my bold sports prediction, and he is going to absolutely mow over the competition, and it is going to be a great season for the Arizona Diamondbacks, and he's going to win the Cy Young. That's my bold prediction. Does that count? Is that what you want?
I think that's a pretty bold prediction.
Or is that not outlandish enough?
No, it's just outlandish enough. Because I doubt many people are probably on the Madison Bumgarner Cy Young Award train. In fact, I'm going to look up what are the odds. NL Cy Young.
How about can I back it up while you're googling this? Getting on our IT team here real quick.
Yes.
I'm going to say to back it up. If it's not Madison Bumgarner that wins the Cy Young, it is an Arizona Diamondback that wins the Cy Young because Robbie Ray is also throwing absolute heat right now. So I think he could also back it up. If it's not Mad Bum, it might be Robbie Ray.
Robbie Ray is the only one on the Vegas odds list. So I think that is an even... I really like Robbie Ray as a dark horse.
Who's the favorite?
DeGrom.
Okay. Yeah,
with Scherzer not far behind.
Yeah. Okay. That makes sense. But I'm going with Mad Bum. I'm sticking with it. Mad Bum wins the Cy.
Okay.
It's my bold. You said bold prediction, so I got to go bold.
I like it a lot. I also like that we really should tie it back to Arizona sports. This podcast is about us caring about Arizona sports, so that makes perfect sense.
I guess if it was going to go bold prediction, if I wanted to go real bold, it's that Arizona's going to the Rose Bowl, but that's, that's a bold prediction every year.
This is why I even brought this up, is that my brother, Scott, the world's most devout Arizona Wildcat football fan, sent me a text that said, prediction time, college football goes off in the spring, and they play a conference-only schedule. Arizona miraculously wins the entire conference, but due to COVID, all bowl games are canceled, and they still don't get to play in the Rose Bowl.
He's right.
That's a bold, but there's some underlying accuracy to that prediction.
He's right.
I think he's got it right.
He's got it right. That's going to be Arizona sports in a nutshell, dude. That's got to be. He's right. All right.
So I can't outbold that prediction.
All right.
Here,
okay.
Mine is this.
Give me yours.
See, now I feel like I have to make it more bold. Mine was maybe more reasonable before. So before, what I wanted to go with is I think Ketel Marte is going to finish top 5 in NL MVP voting.
Not bold
enough. But now, because I got to go bold, I'm going to say, this is so dumb. Ketel Marte is going to win the NL MVP. That's bold.
That is bold.
Dude, the guy is already cleaning it up in summer ball. Have you been watching any of this?
Yeah, I have.
Just put him, what did Bob Brenly say? Put him in bubble wrap and send him to LA and let's get the season started. The guy is just locked in.
I mean, he is dialed. He looks all-star-esque. I think that's not as bold as you might think. Now, here's the thing with these bold predictions with baseball, with hockey, with I'm not going to go to football yet, but with MLB, NHL, and NBA, it's totally uncharted waters. So they're going into this with a 60-game season, with a partial season, with stopping and starting midway. So I think everybody's on the same page. So with these bold predictions, they might actually come true.
Well, that's true. It's completely new season. It's a different game for everybody.
Everybody's in the same boat. Everybody's in the same boat. So how do you compare? You have your favorites like, oh, this team's going to win, the championship. This team's going to win the Stanley Cup. But everybody's starting off fresh. This is the time for bold predictions to come true. So maybe, Ketel Marte is blowing it up. You don't know. He comes in and starts just smashing the ball. You might not be as far off as you think.
I would love to. I felt like he was so undervalued last year. He was under the radar for the entire season, and he was consistently one of the best players in baseball.
I 1,000% agree. Completely agree. Why? Is he on? Because he was on a bad
plays
team.
for the Diamondbacks. Because he plays on the West Coast and not for the Dodgers.
Like you either play for LA or you don't play for anybody on the West Coast. It's got to be that way because I think any team in Major League Baseball would only get better by having him.
Sure.
I think about it like that way. If any team went out and got Ketel Marte, they're going to get instantly better. And he's playing here in our backyard in Arizona.
It's what we lament all the time, though. Like, your own state doesn't even recognize you. Your fan base here doesn't care. Unless
sucks.
you go to the playoffs, they won't know your name.
It's true.
And so why would anybody else take notice of you? Doesn't matter.
It's true. You're right.
It won't
Which
matter
sucks.
till eventually he gets traded until he goes the Goldschmidt route and gets traded
Gets
to a
paid.
better, different team.
And goes and wins.
Which I think Goldschmidt is one of the favorites to win the NL MVP, by the way. I was looking at the list of NL Cy Young. We've got Scherzer, former Diamondback. Patrick Corbin, former Diamondback.
Yeah.
Zach Greinke, former Diamondback.
Yeah.
And Robbie Ray. So, like,
Yeah.
we bring good players into the system and then they just disappear.
Go somewhere else.
Bye.
And it's true in every sport, not just baseball. I mean, you look at I mean every sport they do well here. They go get a big contract somewhere and then they go somewhere else. We've had it with so many different avenues. I don't know. Or they come and retire here, I guess. That's true too.
Yeah, one of the two.
They
We
come
get
and
their
retire here.
their best years and they leave, or
And
we get their
or-
worst years when they retire.
And it's like Shaq. Like, I got like 4 more years. Let's just go play in Arizona for a few and hang out there.
I shouldn't say that. Like Kurt Warner, Carson Palmer. Well, Shaq is the bad example, right?
So we have a couple outliers, I guess. We have a couple outliers.
Hit or miss.
But yeah, I don't know. I mean, Emmitt Smith, he comes out here, plays for a season.
Dude, I want to forget that he played football for this team.
When
I
he's
can't believe that's
45
a
years
thing.
old.
Emmitt Smith.
So we're talking about bold predictions, and we're talking about sports, and all there is to talk about sports. 2 of the 5 power conferences have said that they are going to play conference-only games in the fall for college football, Mo. The Big 12?
I think it's
Correct?
Big 10,
Or the Big 10, excuse me. Big 10.
which
and the
has
Pac-12.
13 teams in it because numbers.
Because of numbers and reasons.
Is it 13
right?
or 15? It's it's not 10.
It's not 10.
I know it's not 10.
And the Pac-12, which has 12 teams, by the way.
It does have 12.
Which is nice for numbers. They're playing conference-only games in the fall. So my first question is why? And number 2, what are your opinions and thoughts on that?
Your first question is the right question. If the point of this is to prevent contact and the spread of the pandemic, how does it help to eliminate playing other teams? Like, you're still going to play 10 games.
Right?
You're still going to have people literally jamming themselves up against another human being with sweat and spit and blood and guts flying everywhere into each other's skin glands. How's it going to affect it if you just play a few games less? Are they just hoping to milk out as many games as they can before everyone on the team gets infected? I genuinely don't know. The only possible thing I can think of is that it's a money saver. Because when Arizona or ASU comes and plays NAU, for example, as the person who does the books at NAU for a department, I have access to this stuff, and you can look up what the state universities pay to play these littler schools, and it ranges anywhere from $750,000 to Alabama will pay people $2-3 million to go play at these little schools. And so I guess you eliminate that from your budget. So maybe it's a budgetary concern, which everything in sports is.
Yeah.
It probably all comes down to a bottom line somewhere. It's not about player safety. It's not about
course.
fan safety. It's about money. So if I
course.
had to guess, I would imagine it's that. And so as somebody who works at one of these smaller universities, I hate it. Like, I hate it. We make money off of it. It allows our guys to go play some top-tier competition, Arizona being top-tier competition for a big
Right,
sky
yeah.
school.
Right.
But it's a bummer that this gets taken off the schedule because I don't see how it practically does anything for player safety. And I don't know. Maybe it does, and I just haven't seen that data. But if you're going to play 10 games against these big dogs, you're still going to get in the trenches with people, and you're going to get people sick. So I don't get it.
You hit the nail right on the head. I agree completely. I don't understand this in any stretch of the imagination. It makes no sense to me. It makes absolutely no sense. And I wasn't just thinking from the monetary aspect of it, which you're absolutely right. I mean, it's got to be a budget saver. But how is it a budget saver to hypothetically send my team, U of A, to Eugene, Oregon, to go play the Ducks, which I forgot if they go to Oregon this year, or to go play Oregon State, or to go to Stanford, when I could go to Las Cruces and go play New Mexico State? I mean, just from a financial standpoint, that's going to be a whole lot cheaper. Or to have NAU come and play. They're in the same state. I don't understand why this has become a thing. To where we can't go and play these other teams to be conference only. It's got to be budgetary, and even that doesn't make sense because we could go play at UNLV, and it's going to be a lot cheaper than, again, an Oregon or a Washington or even Utah to go send a team there, and you're going to go and get blood, sweat, and tears everywhere else. So I don't understand why the commissioners are doing this. They're only handicapping their players for what they can do in terms of healthy competition.
Yeah.
And being able to play people. So
if you want to remove non-conference schedule or games from your schedule for budgetary reasons, it seems like you could leave a smaller in-state school on there because the revenue stays in your state then, and it's all government money, right? Everything that's going to these universities outside of booster money is tuition dollars and state tax money. So if Arizona plays NAU, they pay them, but that money stays in state and it stays in the system. So if you get rid of your non-conference schedule, get rid of like UNLV, or who else do we play? Hawaii or Eastern Washington. Like, keep that money in state, play one out of conference game as a tune-up. For Arizona, get your one win on the schedule for the year.
Right. Yeah.
And
play
then go get wiped out by the rest of the teams. It's fine.
And maybe think of one other thing. If you're going to eliminate non-conference games, you need to eliminate conference games. If that's your problem of player safety, of COVID, of transmission of disease, it doesn't compute. It just does not make sense for us to be like, oh, well, NAU's from Flagstaff, they're probably immune to COVID. Bring them on. But no, wait. Or let's counteract that. Like, you're from Virginia. You don't have as many cases, so you're probably fine. No, but we don't want you, but we're going to go play in Oregon, and you guys have had some cases, but you're in conference. Like, I don't understand the difference between any of this. It just is a dumb decision, and I'm really sad that it happened. They had to have been, like you said, it all boils down to money. They had to have been saving money somewhere. So
maybe the virus can't jump conferences.
Maybe that's the vaccine.
Maybe they've done some studies down at the University Medical Center in Tucson, and they've discovered the coronavirus cannot transmit from the Pac-12 to the SEC.
Good enough reason for me to not have to play an SEC team, to be honest with you, because we don't want Bama. So,
even in
fine.
30 years, COVID's still around, y'all.
No, it's still around. We still got the COVID. Please don't come here. else is going on in the wide world of sports?
We're right on the cusp, man. Everything's going to go off here soon.
So
I'm starting to get excited again.
What are you most excited for above everything else? Like we looked at our boldest predictions. What are you the most excited to see again, other than just having sports on TV? What are you just, man, I can't wait to watch this.
I love the idea of a 60-game Major League Baseball season. I kind of wish they would make that more permanent. You could make the length of the season in calendar days the same and still only play 60 games.
Wow.
And then, like, I've been thinking about this. Everybody's got like a 5-person starting pitching rotation.
Right.
Because you play so many games and you play them so close back to back that you can't run your number 1, number 2 guy out there every 4 days.
Yeah.
But if you played a much reduced season over the same calendar span, those guys are pitching the same amount of games, but you only need 3 pitchers in your rotation, and now like every game is a little bit more competitive because you're not trotting out there your number 5 guy who is so bad that eventually he's going to be in the bullpen as your long reliever at the end of the year. Like you're putting your number 1, 2, 3 guys out there, and every game has like the same feel as a playoff game. Because 60 games, every game really matters.
Dude, yeah. You've thought about this, haven't you?
I am. I'm really excited for baseball this year, maybe more so than I have been in other years. Like in the midst of this, I think everybody's just excited for a sport to go off again.
Right, yeah.
But I think there are so many interesting storylines with the reduced MLB season that come into play. Football has a ton of cool stuff going on too. Like I'm excited to see Kyler Murray and DeAndre Hopkins. I really want to watch that.
Yeah.
I want to see if the Browns can put it together. I think they're an interesting team on paper.
Let's go Browns.
Like, that's our other team, man.
It's my quarterback, by the way. Dude.
But out of all of them, I think baseball, it's such a shift. Hockey played a lot of its regular season already, so you saw most of that be normal, and now we're going to go into a weird playoff system, but it's not that far off.
Yeah.
NBA, I don't care about as much as other sports. If you cared about the NBA, you're probably feeling the same way I do about baseball, because that's really different too and unique. But like baseball, I feel has a chance to recapture its place in American sports as the national pastime by having such a new system that makes every game more important.
I've been such an advocate for shortening the season of baseball too. I hadn't thought about it as the same amount of time and reducing the amount of games. I hadn't thought about it in that direction, and I love it. Which counteracts my argument for the DH, because, you know, you want the best player, the best hitter to be your DH. And I like having my pitcher be able to swing the bat. But if I can throw out only have 3 pitchers and they're throwing every other day, or you know, they're throwing every 2 games because they can, because there's 3 days difference between the two, I might be interested in watching that. You know, I'd much rather watch Zach Greinke, for example, a top tier pitcher, throw every 2 games, but that might be every 5 days.
Right.
You know, so I might be more interested in that. And then you can't lose as many. You go 182 or whatever it is. You win 100 games, you lose 82, you're in the playoffs. You can't lose 82 games in a shortened season. And win, or whatever it was, 162, I guess, and lose. So when they go to the 60 game season, if you go on a 10 game losing streak, you're out.
You've got to kick in a 10 game win streak right away too.
Yeah,
which is possible. It's very plausible to do something like that.
So is 60 the number? I think 82 is the number.
Probably not. You probably have to cut it in half. But what other sport are these guys playing so close back to back in terms of actual calendar days?
None.
It's why the American public loses interest in baseball. You're like, oh, I didn't catch the game last night. It's fine. There's literally 132 more of them.
Just relax, yeah.
But if you miss one, you're like, oh man, that was an important game that I missed. That's how you feel about football.
Yeah.
You miss a week of football, you feel like you're so far behind.
Yeah, you've missed it all.
every game matters to you. You make time to watch every football game on Saturdays and Sundays. If there are only 60, 70, 80 games in baseball, you probably watch a percentage-wise a much higher percentage of the total season than if there's 162.
Yeah.
I would.
Yeah. So do you think that the what's the answer for baseball? Because they're losing viewership. Or they're at a stalemate with viewership. I shouldn't say they're losing. They're just kind of at a stalemate, right? Like people that are diehard baseball fans are watching baseball, but they're having a hard time attracting new fans. Is the answer to shorten the season or to shorten the games?
They've tried so many different ways to shorten the games, and it really hasn't. It seemed to take much of an effect. So you probably have to keep finding a way to make the games a little bit shorter because people are going to lose interest in an individual game. But I remember what you said about changing college basketball rules to mirror the NBA more.
Yeah.
Does it help? I don't know. Will it hurt? No. So like do the things that you know won't hurt and see if they help.
Gotcha. Huh. I agree. I'm really hesitant because our attention span as people is getting shorter. We can only watch for so many hours, and I don't know what the answer is for baseball because they've done all the things that you've said, and they can't get it under 3 hours. I think baseball is just a sport that takes 3 hours to watch. It's just
how long did you sit down and watch Tiger King?
Probably way more than 3 hours.
How long did every American in this country sit down and watch Tiger King?
Probably more than 3 hours.
I refuse to believe that people don't have the attention span. I think they choose not to engage in it. Baseball is so... Dude, playoff baseball, you can watch every pitch of every game and be like, oh, the game's over already? I was watching this for 4 hours? I had no idea. Because you get so invested in it. The sport is a cool sport.
If you understand, if you think, that's the other thing. I don't know how many people like to think. Baseball requires you to think also. Like, okay, runner on second, 1 out. What happens if it goes here, this pitch? What if this, like, so many scenarios go through your mind. It's to some point like, give me entertainment and make it quick. Whereas in a pitcher holds the ball, he steps off, he grabs a rosin bag, he's thinking too because it's part of his job, and it's finally like, dude, throw the ball so we know what's going to happen next. Yeah. Oh, it's a ball. All right, 1-0 count. Well, in the player's mind, this, and in the diehard baseball fan's mind, it's this. These are the things that happen. To the layman's person, it's throw the next pitch. Come on. What? I want to see a ball fly out of the ballpark. Yeah.
I don't begrudge them that. But if that same layperson watches NFL football, how much action is in an actual game of NFL football? Maybe 38, 40 minutes worth. And those things run 3.5 hours.
It's the same thing.
And they'll sit and watch that entire game.
They also get to see somebody, get the crap beat out of them. So maybe that's part of it. Is violence part of it?
There's like a Roman-esque
Do we need to bring back the gladiators? I don't know. Like, is that part of it?
Maybe you have to find a way to be more marketing creative with it. Like in football, in between every play, they're showing replays.
Yeah.
You've got like Chris Collinsworth prattling on incessantly about, oh, what a play. Like, if you can get baseball guys who know how to make it interesting.
Well, stop. By the way, that was a spot on Chris Collinsworth impression.
I've been working on it. I've been practicing.
I can tell. Good job.
I'm going to edit in the thing I was trying to mirror. I was trying to mimic his call of the Hail Mary that Aaron Rodgers threw against the Cardinals, because they show the replay of it, and all Collinsworth can do is go, You asked what I was most excited about. What are you most excited about?
Man, I am just, again, I am so excited that sports is coming back. I am so thrilled that Major League Baseball was able to figure out something and salvage the season. I honestly didn't think they would. I really didn't think they would for a while there. And I think a lot of people would agree that MLB was looking really rough there for a while. So I'm just, as a sports fan, I was playing devil's advocate for a while there. I love baseball, and I'm going to watch a bunch of the games just like you. Like I whatever they do, I'm going to watch them. And so I'm really glad that they got to get that figured out. As a hockey fan, I'm very, very, very happy and excited to see how this two stadium system is going to work out. They're going to have hockey playing literally all day, and it's going to remind me of March Madness, and I am so happy for that. Like,
that is
they
cool.
start at noon on Eastern time, and they go to like 8:00 Eastern time, starting puck drop. Like, it's going to be all day hockey that I'm really excited about. I'm excited for basketball to start to get rid of a lot of the drama that's been going on in the bubble. I think that's going to, once they finally start playing games, it's going to distract from like people leaving the bubble, and we're hearing about the food apparently is bad and all this stuff. Like, let's get back to playing basketball and getting to see some. I think we're going to see some players who we weren't expecting to shine in the NBA, which is going to be really cool to see. So I'm just excited for sports. I didn't answer your question super well, but I guess if I had to narrow it down to anything, it would be that I'm excited to see hockey all day long, and reminding me of March Madness, because hockey's my love. So I'm gonna go with that one. That's gonna be my one.
March Madness system applied to any other sport is an automatic
I'm in.
positive.
I'm in, where I can watch your sport for 12 hours and just have constantly a game on. I'm in, sold. You talked me into it. And so I'm interested to see. I think NBA is going to be in a similar situation. So we'll see how that goes too. But
dude, I think I can name like 8 total NBA players right now. That's how
probably
involved I am.
5 more.
That's
than
how
me.
involved I am in the NBA.
I know I haven't watched nearly as much NBA as probably I should, but
so like Magic Johnson, obviously best player of all time.
And that's
DeAndre
it.
Ayton.
Oh, DeAndre Ayton,
because he's an Arizona Wildcat.
Yeah.
Jerry Colangelo, definitely.
Oh my god, dude. You got 5 more.
That guy from Shark Tank.
Half. That's half.
Okay,
his name is Mark Cuban, by the way.
Mark Cuban.
Not a player.
Oh man. Okay, I can only name 3.5, I guess.
Mo, we have been in quarantine or this COVID situation since March. We are both in Arizona, where COVID has hit us very hard. If anybody's been paying attention to the news, we've had a very tumultuous time in Arizona. So we've been glued to the TV. I don't know. Well, I guess I'm saying we, but I've been glued to the TV. Is that fair to say that you've been somewhat glued to the TV?
I glue myself more to like my phone screen. I don't know if your phone has started giving you updates on how much screen time you average per week. It really just feels like rubbing salt in the wounds in the midst of a COVID.
Yeah.
Like, okay, we get it. We're all inside. I'm spending a lot of time on my phone. Get out of my face about it, Siri.
We know, Siri. This is immunity. I get immunity on screen time. Right
Yeah.
now.
Cut me some slack. But no, yeah, I've watched my fair share of television, mostly because Emily loves to watch it.
Dude, I'm in on Netflix. I'm in on Hulu. I'm in on Amazon Prime. I'm in on Disney Plus. I'm in. Just put it that way.
Okay.
So I'm watching these. I've also been a fan of sitcoms. both old and new. I've been rewatching a lot of sitcoms. I've watched sitcoms. I've started, I've stopped. I've done all these sitcom stuff, and I've really wanted to pick your brain on something that's been bothering me all week on sitcoms.
Okay.
Can I pick your brain?
Give it to me.
No. Can you give me a list of the worst sitcom characters of all time? Now, I want to stress this to our listeners. I'm not talking about the worst TV sitcoms as a whole. I'm not talking about worst TV sitcom actors. I'm not talking about anything. I'm talking about like a character on a show that you're like, this is a bad character that has bad redeeming qualities, that is poorly written, just a bad character on a show. So I want to know what's our list for worst TV sitcom characters. And I'm going somewhere with this in our podcast.
What do you mean you're going, like, you're going to tie it back somehow to...
It's going to relate back to fatherhood, to sports, to pressing issues. But I just want to start with a broad topic of like worst TV characters, like sitcom, because if we go to TV characters, like that opens up Pandora's box and we've got too much. So I'm trying to limit it a little bit at first to like just sitcoms.
Every single character on the show Friends is the worst sitcom character on television. Every single one. They're all one-dimensional pieces of paper who are neither funny or real or genuine or likable or amicable or affable or fun to listen to. They are the worst people.
Did I define the rules enough? Are you with me? Like,
do I need to just pick one person?
Just one person on on a sitcom that is the worst. Like, just I'm not talking about villain. Like, because there's good villains, right?
You just mean like bad character, general bad character.
Character, you don't even like seeing them on your screen. Like, you want to punch them in the face, but in a bad way. Not punch them in the face in a good way, like a villain should be.
Okay, so now that I know the rules, let me reiterate that it's every character on Friends.
I'm gonna leave this show.
They're the worst.
No, they're not all the worst. There is a bad character on Friends. There is a character.
Chandler is a bad character on Friends.
Mo,
Chandler,
wrong.
Chandler is so dopey and unlikable, and everything about Chandler is bad and wrong and dumb.
Are you done ranting about nothing now? Because I can't listen to you. I stopped listening to you for a while.
I'm done being correct about things, I guess.
You are not right. No, Ross is the worst character in sitcom history, and it's not even close.
I'm okay with that too, dude. I'm telling you, you pick a name of a Friends character, I'm going to be on your side.
He's the worst. Chandler... He makes a comment and you laugh. He has some sarcastic and wittiness. And he's funny.
I have watched the entirety of Friends and I never laughed.
I have to.
I've never laughed at that show. It's terrible.
He's got character. He's got funny. He's got some things. He's got some sarcasm. I'm giving Chandler some love as a character. What else do you got for me? What other sitcom characters are you just like, they are the worst character ever?
But I don't think I can top anybody from Friends as the worst ever. Let me... maybe it will help if I just start naming the sitcoms that I know well enough to talk about here. The Office.
Okay.
Why can't I name another like Tool Time? Maybe.
How I Met Your Mother. How I Met Your Mother.
Oh gosh, dude! I should have gone with that. That's the new modern Friends. How I Met Your Mother's so bad. It's so bad.
You and my mom would get together really well because she hates that show too. Ted is the worst character on the show, in my opinion. How I Met Your Mother.
I can't even get through a couple seasons of that show, so I'll give you that one because I don't know. It's so bad.
I watched it a couple of times. I am eliminating the last season of How I Met Your Mother from my memory, okay? Because it's the worst season on planet Earth. They should have ended it. No. So erase that. That didn't happen in television.
Let me hit you with one I bet we can agree on then here, and bring us back to middle center here. Sheldon from The Big Bang Theory.
Yeah.
Like, that show is bad. He is bad. The writing is bad. Everything about it is annoying.
So the way you feel about Friends,
young Sheldon.
the way you feel about Friends is how I feel about Big Bang Theory. I can't.
We've made it back.
We're
back.
back.
Solid
Sheldon
ground.
is no good. I can't get into that character. I can't see any redeemable characteristics in that character. They tried,
but isn't
and they
it
missed.
so funny when he says "Bazinga, Brody"? Isn't that so funny? Like, he says it all the time.
No,
it's so funny
tried.
though.
They tried. That was what was important, is that they tried.
Just love that
It
Big
didn't
Bang
happen.
humor, you know?
All right, so here's one that I struggled with. Scrubs.
Okay, who do you not like from Scrubs? This one, it will interest me.
I think it's JD.
No.
I think it is.
No.
I think it is.
You never stop rooting for JD though. He's becomes like a weird caricature of himself at the end. Like, he starts off as a somewhat normal dude in the first couple seasons, then he becomes real effeminate and wacky and kind of like whimsical almost. But you never stop like rooting for him to figure it out. Whereas Chandler or Ross, you're like, gosh, I just want them to lose.
So if we're gonna do cross, sitcom, that's one thing. So who else would you pick on Scrubs? Because
as the worst character, I don't know that I have a worst character there. I really like everybody there.
I love Scrubs. It's one of my favorite shows. But here's where it loses me for JD. JD accidentally gets this girl pregnant in the show, if you'll recall. And it turns out that this girl lies to him about being
Losing
pregnant.
the baby.
And she lied to him about, she lost the baby and she ended up having it. And he ends up trying to have a relationship with her. I'm like, I don't know if I can relate to that. If somebody had, I would definitely, if I'm as a father, I would definitely do everything I could to take care of that child, because that's the number one thing that's most important in the world. But I would not try and have a relationship with that mother. Like, you can't lie to me about carrying my child and leave me, and yet somehow I find out by mistake that you are actually carrying my child. Like, I would be so upset at that person.
Your interesting argument here is that JD is a bad person because of his willingness to overlook and ultimately forgive what was a grievous sin against him by this woman, and instead attempt to reconcile things with her in order to have a relationship with his son. I think so. I think I'm that person. I think I am, which sounds bad. I honestly think I am that person. I honestly think I am. I would be so, I would love that child, and I would never, ever, ever bring it up in front of her. In front of our child, we share this child together, and I'm going to shower with unconditional love. But you told me that you lost the baby, and I went about my life for 7 months or whatever. And now all of a sudden I realize I'm a dad because you lied to me? Oh, man. Mo, we've known each other for at least 4 years, because I've been married to your sister for 4 years. We were dating for a year before that. So I've known you for 5 years. And this is something that you and I probably have disagreed on the most, because I cannot stand this show and you seem to very much like it. It is an awful show, but again, I'm not going to be biased. Who is the worst character on Seinfeld? There is no worst character on Seinfeld.
Oh my God, I'm out of this podcast.
They are all exceptional. They are all the perfect complementary group of people to create a cast that transcends time and space in the world of sitcoms. It is the sitcom by which every show will always be measured, and for good reason. It is timeless. It is hilarious. Larry David is a genius. Every character is exactly where they need to be. Flawless.
The Brody and Mo in-law show needs to have a mute button because I would have pushed it by like 5 minutes ago. I can't. I just, dude, I can't. Dude, I can't. I can't. I just can't. That's it. The end of my statement. I can't. I can't. I've tried on multiple occasions. What about it? So here's the thing, because that's my friends for you. Like, who would you pick? Who's the worst character on it? Here's who I would pick, but I don't want to say because I'm prejudiced because I don't like any of the characters.
I think I already know your answer, and it's probably the correct answer of who's the worst character, i.e. the worst written, the one that is the least likable, the one who the show could survive without. And you've told me this before, and I think you're right. And I think it's Jerry.
I don't like Jerry.
I think Jerry, for who this show is named, is probably the weakest link.
Chelsea doesn't. Chelsea, my wife, for you listeners, doesn't like Elaine. She doesn't like Elaine on the show. Doesn't think
Elaine
she's a bad character.
So important, though.
But
she's integral to everything.
And that's all fine. But I don't get the Jerry character.
I guess Jerry is the. You can't have a protagonist in this show. Like, it's a show about nothing, and the goal is to never learn a lesson. That's Larry David's goal, is you should never learn anything from this show. But if you have a protagonist, it's like he's the normal one guiding you through the story, the one you're supposed to be able to relate to. Like, he has a job, he has trouble dating, he has his own apartment. Like, Elaine, Kramer, George, none of them ever have anything together. They're always just off on some new zany thing. And so Jerry's the one you're supposed to relate to, so I guess from that aspect, he's integral. But yeah, like, you could do without, you could put anybody in that spot.
Any human being. Put a scarecrow there. Put a scarecrow. That is Jerry. So I can't get into it, man. I've tried on multiple occasions. I really have. I don't like to just cut something short. I got to give it a few, but I just can't. You're
can't. Not the only person who feels that way about Seinfeld. Maybe it's
right.
An acquired taste.
Maybe
it's just because my sense of humor is sick and twisted. But for some reason, Larry David just hits something in me that makes a lot of sense.
Well, there's something for everybody, because I like Friends, so we've got something there that we can, split on, because I can't do in the Seinfeld world. But
the two most renowned sitcoms of all time are between us,
divided.
Right? Friends and Seinfeld. We've got the whole gamut covered.
Yeah.
Covered it all.
Did we cover everything?
I think we covered our sports. We talked about dad stuff. We talked about the pressing matters of sitcom dad stuff.
I did this on Twitter on my own personal account, but if I can tell my listeners, the Discount Tire in Goodyear was awesome this week. And so I'm going to give them a plug on our podcast. Can I do that? Because you guys, listen, I called you a day in advance. You got me in at 3:30 in the afternoon. It was 150 degrees outside in Phoenix, Arizona, and you guys got me in and out, and it was packed. It was packed, Mo, in the Discount Tire in Goodyear. They got me in and out, plugged my tire. I had a nail in it. I had 2 nails. I thought I was going to need a whole new tire, but they figured it out. They got them plugged, no problems, in and out in 45 minutes. Thank you guys so much, Discount Tire. There's my plug for the week.
I don't know of any company I would rather have give us money for this, sponsor us for this podcast than Discount Tire of Goodyear.
Dude, you guys killed it, man. And so, I was sitting back and there was like a bunch of people, waiting to get their cars worked on. And I was looking into the shop, and every single person in the shop, every single person in the office was busting their hump, dude. Like, they weren't just sitting there like, oh yeah, wait in line. Dude, they were hauling. They were getting people in and out of there. So I got to give you guys props. Discount Tire and Goodyear, give them your business.
That's the way. Go to Discount Tire. Discount Tire, where you can get tires at a discount.
Because they're discount tires.
Discount Tire. Brody, what do you got for a number for us this week?
So I've been thinking about this, and
I saw that you put this up on your Twitter page as well.
I put this up,
and all we received back was some very, very sarcastic, borderline saddening responses.
Yeah,
and it made me feel like a sad boy.
Yeah, I got pretty sad. Somebody said that I know. Somebody said 4 because it is a nice square number. Genesis said that, which is fair.
Okay.
And then Alfredo put on my Twitter account that said 1 because it knows how lonely I am. So Alfredo, I'm sorry to hear about that.
Alfredo, we're here for you.
We're here for you. You got us, Alfredo. Both of those, by the way, are former students of mine. Good people. Love those people. And then Hadley put 0 because that's how much sense this question made.
This is what I was referring to.
So
that
Hadley,
made me such a sad boy.
Hadley is also correct because the question didn't make any sense. So here's what I was kind of anticipating in my mind is that I'm going to start at 4 because I'm going to give homage to Genesis, that this was a perfect number. I'm going to count down to 1, and then I'm going to do like a nice, like kind of maybe big explosion at 1 to give credit to Alfredo for being alone. And then we're going to end it at 0 because that's how much how much sense this question made. Is that?
Hey, I'm just glad we're getting some engagement.
We got engagement.
I mean, it's not on our actual podcast Twitter account, but hey, we take what we can get.
There's people out there in the Twitter sphere that are asking about us. So there's that.
Brody, take us home.
Here we go. 4, 3, 1 goes out to Alfredo. Solo. 0 because the question doesn't make sense. 0 and I have. Those are all of our answers and questions. Thank you guys so much for having us. It was a great episode. As always, we appreciate you.
That was some world-class auctioneering with some crazy numbers to work through. I hope you all appreciate what you just heard. If you want to get in touch with us, you can find us at In-Law Show on Twitter, or you can email us at bmils2020@gmail.com, bmils2020@gmail.com. Otherwise, we'll see you all next week.
Bye, guys.